In this section, we will discuss about TDS in Tally. So what is TDS, tax deducted at source? What does it mean? So any income which is earned from commission or brokerage or from rent is subjected to TDS. So what it means is that whenever a business is required to make payment towards such expense, it will deduct the tax then and there and pay it to the government. And the incomes like commission, brokerage, or rent of land or building, these are some common examples where TDS is applicable. There are other incomes as well on which TDS is applicable, but for the sake of simplicity and in order to understand the concept, I have just mentioned few of the incomes. And the objective to deduct tax at source. At source means at the time of payment is that the government gets its revenue faster. So that is the main motive behind TDS. And I'm going to keep the discussion on TDS to be short because TDS in itself is vast subject and not every aspect of TDS can be covered in this course. Now let's discuss some examples on TDS transactions, and once we complete those transactions it would be clear as to what TDS is and why do we require to deduct TDS. Have a look at your screen. So in this transaction, this company Alpha Sales incurs commission expense of rupees 1,10,000 for availing service from a business consultancy. And for commission we deduct TDS at 5%, so we are required to pay 5,500 from the total payment amount to the government and pay the remaining balance of 1,04,500 to the consultancy. So how do we record this entry in Tally? Now in order to work with TDS we are required to enable TDS in company, and in order to do that press the F11 key. Select the option statutory and taxation, and over here we have an option called enable tax deducted at source. So you need to press letter Y and press the enter key, and for the option set or alter TDS details press the letter Y and press the enter key. And you are required to fill up the deductor details, and I'm going to fill the details as follows. So I have filled it with some imaginary TAN registration number and tax deduction and collection account number, and I will press Ctrl A after filling up all these details and press Ctrl A again to save the settings. So with this we have enabled TDS in Tally. And as far as the transaction is concerned, the payment is related to commission where TDS would be applicable. And in order to mark any payment towards commission to be applicable for TDS, we need to define the nature of payment for commission, and in order to do that you need to select the option accounts info and select the option statutory info and select the option TDS nature of payments and select create. Now in the name field we can type the name of the payment on which TDS would be applicable, so you can type anything like commission payment and so on. Otherwise you can press Ctrl C where we can access some predefined names. So let me press Ctrl C and the nature of payment would be displayed. So from the list of nature of payment just type and search commission or brokerage. So it is listed over here, so you need to navigate over it and select it. And leave the section and payment code to the default values and specify the rate of TDS at 5% and define its threshold or exemption limit. So if the commission is something up to 15,000 rupees, then we are not required to deduct TDS. So we need to define that threshold limit over here and save the nature of payment creation. Now in order to make payment towards commission we are required to define its ledger. So I will select the option ledger over here and select the option create, and I will create a ledger for commission expense. Under indirect expenses and TDS is applicable on this ledger, so I'll select the option applicable over here and specify the nature of payment, which is commission or brokerage, which we just created, and press Ctrl A to save this ledger creation. I am also required to create the ledger for business consultancy from where I received the services, and suppliers are creditors, so select the option sundry creditors over here, and let me just select not applicable for price list, and over here in the field is TDS deductible, change this option to yes by pressing the letter Y and pressing the enter key, and select the deductee type as company resident and leave the option deduct TDS in same voucher to yes, and for the remaining field I will skip these fields, and we are required to specify the PAN number, and if you don't specify the PAN number, TDS at 20% would be deducted. So let me just specify any PAN number, and after entering all the required details, press Ctrl A to save this ledger creation for the consultancy firm. And we are also required to make TDS tax payment to the government, so we are required to create its ledger as well. So let me create a ledger as TDS on commission. Under duties and taxes, specify the type of tax as TDS. Select the nature of payment as commission or brokerage, and press Ctrl A and save this ledger creation. So we are done with the setup part for the entry. Now we will proceed with recording the entry. So let's just go back to gateway of Tally. Select the option accounting vouchers. Now press the F7 key to access journal voucher. Over here we need to debit the commission expense because we debit expenses and the commission expense is for rupees 1,10,000 rupees, and press the enter key and credit the business consultancy firm for rupees 1,04,500. Now as soon as you press the enter key, the bill wise details screen would show up, so just select the required information, and we also need to credit TDS on commission for rupees 5,500 and save the entry. Now we are not done yet. We are required to make payment to the business consultancy firm for its services. So I will make payment to the consultancy firm for rupees 1,04,500 against the given reference, and let me just save this entry. And we are also required to make TDS tax payment to the government, and in order to do that you need to press Alt S to select statutory payment. Select the type of duty as TDS for the month of April, towards commission of brokerage, and select the payment method, whether cash or bank, and press Ctrl A to save this entry as well. And when you print this payment voucher, it will generate the TDS challan. So let's just preview this challan. So this is how a TDS tax challan would look like at the time of payment. So let me just zoom in. So that was all about TDS, and with this section I am concluding the course as well. I hope you really had a good time learning Tally with me, and I am also going to attach few notes related to Tally security and backup and restore capabilities. I want you to check those PDF notes. So all the best for all your future endeavors, and by concluding, it doesn't mean that I won't be available. If you have any doubts, you can post it on Udemy, and I would be there to assist you with all your doubts. Thank you.